Good morning, students. How are you all? Doing great? Yes? Okay, fine. And today I would like to share some of our interesting things. The significance of pronunciation skills in communication is going to be the topic that we are going to discuss today. Okay? And this is one of the topics prescribed for you in the paper called ELT. Fine. And you are very much aware of all the nuances of pronunciation skills. But still you have a paper, you have a part called pronunciation. And can you just tell me what is the, why do we have to give importance to pronunciation skills? You have to answer. Why do we have to do that? And what is the major role of pronunciation in communication? You have to tell me, come on. Because the answer is simple. Language made up of sounds, right? Language made up of sounds. Sound is a vital role for evolving or creating language. So that's the reason we need to give importance to pronunciation skills. And what is communication? A process by which information is exchanged between individuals through a common system of symbols, signs, or behavior is called communication, right? There are two kinds of communication, you know that. Verbal communication and the non-verbal communication. What is verbal communication? It refers to the production of spoken language to send an intentional message to a listener, right? Spoken language. Okay. And the non-verbal communication is the transmission of messages or signals through non-verbal platforms such as eye contact, facial expressions, gesture, posture. Right? So what we call it non-verbal communication. As we know, communication is the lifeblood. Without communication, we cannot live in the world. Even animals cannot live in the world. Right? So communication is the lifeblood for everybody. And ineffective communication is going to bring you frustration and lack of understanding and broken relations. Right? So communication is very much needed for both human being as well as non-human being. Right? And it is very much needed. And why pronunciation? And we all have a question, right? And we have different accents. We have dialects, right? And why should we give focus? Why should we focus only on pronunciation? Pronunciation is the way in which a word or a language is spoken. And in fact, we have varieties of pronunciation according to the location, culture, and speech disorder, social class, and education, right? And educated people are going to speak English in a better way. In fact, the people, those who study English, are going to speak English in a different way. But we cannot expect utterance from other people with the right tone. Okay, you know why? Because we learn pronunciation. Yes, we learn pronunciation. Right, that's the difference. And what is dialect? A particular form of a language which are peculiar to a specific region or a social group. That's what we call it dialect. And when you go to Chennai, you have a different dialect like Na pani nikira, right? Yes? Nalla kiriya ni, soka kiriya, right? This is what we call it Chennai dialect, right? It's a dialect. Okay? And there's a difference between a dialect and accent. Let me complete this dialect first. Coimbatore, you have a different dialect. They'll say, how they're going to utter. Yenanga, nalla irukingla, saaptingla niki, kulichingla, right? This is how they are going to utter. This is Coimbatore dialect. When you come to Tirunelveli, our own hometown, how do you speak? Ele, elenga vale. So this is how we are going to utter. Okay, so the point is very clear here. dialect is entirely different from accent. What is accent? A distinctive way of pronouncing a language, especially one associated with a particular country, area, and social class. Okay, and we have British accent. Okay, what is that? British. It is not British dialect. Okay, British accent, and then we have American accent. Okay, how many of you are going to speak like American here? Right, in the same little sentence. How are you? How the people are, the British people are going to speak? Come on, you can have a guess, wild guess. Right. How are they going to speak? How? How do? How do you do, or something like that, right? Okay. Now the same sentence. How are you? How are you? How are you doing? No. You need not change the sentence. Same sentence. How they are going to accent? How they are going to utter? Okay, it is. British people will say that. How are you? Right? Americans? No, the same sentence. How are you? Right? The same, the slight variation you can understand from their mouth, right? So we call it American, this is British, right? We have different accents and phonemes, that the smallest, why we need to have phonemes? Only then we can sound in a perfect way, right? We are in third world country, right? We are in the list of third world country. I do not know when are we going to achieve that first world country. But we are in that third world country level, and we've got a little confusion whether to follow American or British, and and they gave international phonetic alphabet IPA. They gave us the chart called IPA. We have to follow that, right? For that we need to study phonemes, right? The smallest units of speech sound that can convey a unique meaning. And what is phonetics? Phonetics deals with the protection of speech sounds by humans. Alright. We'll move on to the chart. You're very familiar with the chart. I really don't want to, get into this part because, you're familiar with that. You would have studied all the things even in your UG itself, right? Fine. And move on to the organs. The organ, we were very much aware of all the organs, right? Teeth, lips, nasal cavity, hard palate, soft palate, right? Phonics and vocal cords, right? You are very much aware of all the things, right? Now come to the core part, importance of pronunciation, okay? And spelling words are not consistent with pronunciation. The same letter in English, the same letters in English represent different sounds when they occur in different words. I forgot to include the word in English, right? It is only in English. But in Tamil, we have, when you are going to say a, imma, it is amma, right? A, imma, amma. Whereas in English, when you say EWE, it is not EV, right? The same way, we pronounced in Tamil will not work it out in English, right? It is, how do you say that? EW is not EV or V or E, right? It is U, right? So that is the reason, I mentioned here spellings of words and spellings of words in English are not consistent with pronunciation. The same letters represent different sounds when they occur in different words. Fine. So good pronunciation is going to give you understanding, right? When you are going to pronounce, when you are going to use a bad tongue, not bad order, right? Bad tongue in the sense, bad pronunciation, the sender is not going to, the receiver is not going to understand anything from the mouth of the sender. So we need to have a good pronunciation skills. And most of the time, bad pronunciation is going to lead you miscommunication, right? So I have enough words, but I don't have time to do all the things. And there are some reasons I discussed here. Some of the reasons are widespread adaptation, right? Widespread adaptation. என் ஃப்ரெண்டு எனக்கு இந்த வார்த்தையை சொல்லி கொடுத்தாரு, அதனால நான் அதை சொல்றேன். For example, there is a word here, Automatic. What does it mean? Hmm? But in Tamil Nadu, people are going to, I heard from the mouth of a farmer, he said, நீங்க செடி வச்சீங்கன்னா இந்த உரத்தை போட்டீங்கன்னா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா அது வளர்ந்துரும். Alright? He said automatically அது வளர்ந்துரும். But this is not the exact pronunciation of the word. This is you're supposed to pronounce like automatic. It is not automatica, right? And then this is a very common word used by most of the people, right? Even the educated people, the researchers, they love to make mistake here. What is the word? How do we pronounce it? Plagiarism, right? It is not plagiarism, right? People are going to say that plagiarism, right? They have different, pronunciation. But as a matter of fact, you're supposed to pronounce like plagiarism, right? And when you study, you give less importance to your, what is that? Pronunciation, okay? Why? Can you tell me why? Why? No idea? Okay. Because we never thought this is very important, and at the same time we don't have any active model, right? When you studied in your schoolings, right? Have you ever come across a native speaker speaking English? Have you ever heard that thing? No, right? So we never had an active model, and most probably we are not much interested to correct ourselves, right? And that's a common word, TOUR, right? Whenever I correct our students, right? And they'll say, oh, yeah, it is TOUR, right? But at the time of, asking permission or going out, and they say, sir, tourukku porom, varingla? Even in the Department of English, and they'll say, sir, tourukku porom, right? And they are not interested to change themselves, right? And that's one of the reasons. And then MTI, what is that? MTI stands for mother tongue influence, right? When you have, maybe your mother is a Malayali and you're going to speak like Otto, right? When your mother is from some other part of the country, you're going to follow the same accent used by your mother, right? This is what we call it, MTI. And how are we going to avoid this MTI? Effects of MTI is, lack of confidence in speaking English and embarrassment in communicating with others publicly, right? When you have MTI, you cannot, speak English in a better way. An inability to speak English properly, and in fact, slow career and slow academic growth, and chaos in communication, right? And when you have MTI, it will be a mockery, right? So you need to be very careful about your MTI, right? And then there are many ways I would like to discuss. There are many ways. Number one is practice tongue twisters, right? How often are you going to practice tongue twisters? Are you practicing it? No, not at all, right? And we have to do it, right? When you wanted to get the good tongue, you need to practice every day. Every day you have to practice it. Only then you can get the good tongue. And I have got some of the things here. Can anyone try? Just you can try, right? Let me try. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Okay. And then where's, okay, Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better. Am I right? Alright, so when you're going to do it every day, you're going to get some practice. Alright, and then this is one of the things, I really don't want to go through that thing, right? And you better, take it down, and you can, leisurely you can do it, right? Number one, there are some ways. Number one, you're supposed to read the text aloud. When you alone, right, you have to read the text aloud. That will help you to improve your the pronunciation skill. Number two, listen to an English news channel every day. How many of you are listening? BBC, we have ABC. No? Nobody is listening? Alright. So you have to listen and watch good English movies. That's very important. And listen to English songs to find out how native speakers speak English, right? So I have a song, but no time to play all the things, right? I'll do it when in the next classroom. And most probably you need to have trainer, right? You need to have a trainer, and you can record your voice and practice it. And then the next very important thing is you have to listen and imitate. Okay, listen and imitate is the best way, right? And we have, every day we receive heaven lot of videos from WhatsApp, right? Telegram, and all the things. We have got videos, but how many of us are going to listen and imitate? Okay, so all you need to do is you have to listen and then imitate. Okay, and this is a transcription part. You can write something and you can have a transcription there and you can read it, right? One of the ways that you can improve it. And there are some misspelled words I would like to quote here. The first one is, how do you say that? Receipt. Okay, it is not receipt. Receipt. The second one is determine. Determine, right? Determine, right? Stress and intonation, right? It's a different part. And then it's temporary. It's temporary. And then pronunciation. 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 And then tour. And then resume, right? If it is noun, we have to say resume. It is verb, resume, right? Fine. And poem. It is not poem, poem, right? How do you say that? Poem, right? Poem is the right word. Okay, and then banquet, coupon, video, no, video, not video, it is video. And then debris, not debris, debris. Okay, this is cash, meme, and February. It's not February, February. And then berry, berry, dengai, dengai. And then say it again. How do you say that? Woman, women, but this is women, not women, right? We always tend to pronounce like it is men. Men is men, right? So the same way we say woman, women. No, it is women. And then breakfast, not break fast, right? Breakfast. Have you heard your breakfast? Yes. Okay, breakfast. And then tomb. It's not tomb. Tomb. All right, and we have a different, dictionaries. You have, downloaded n number of dictionaries in your mobile phone. But when you're going to do this, English pronouncing dictionary is a standard dictionary. You need to have it. Whenever you have doubt, you better refer this, right? And this is an authenticated one, right? So you need to refer this one, fine? And I've got some references, and if you have any questions, you can ask me right now. I'll be in a position to answer all your questions. Do you have any questions, students? You don't have? You all clear? Right. Then thank you so much.